Hi, I'm David Pattermore. I'm a pollination scientist at Plant and Food Research. An avocado tree can have up to 1 million flowers, and yet only 0.3% set fruit. That's 1 in 1,000 flowers. And so if we can actually just increase that percentage fruit set by a small amount, we can make a big difference for production of avocados in New Zealand. So what we're looking for is solutions within pollination, potentially a new pollinator, that can increase that percentage fruit set so we can increase production for New Zealand growers. Avocados have a very complex flowering system. So when you're trying to study avocados, it's very hard to actually follow enough flowers through from a flower being opened, being pollinated, and then being a harvested fruit. One of the really complex things about avocado flowers is that each flower opens first as a female, usually only open for a couple of hours, and then it closes, and the next day it opens as a male, and it closes again, and on a subsequent day it sometimes opens as a male again. And so for each flower, it's only got a few hours when it's female and it's receptive and able to be pollinated. What we also know, it's already been known from other places in the world, that the timing of that female flower opening is dependent on temperature. So the colder the temperature, the later in the day the Hass female flower opens. What we've been able to do over the last few years is we've used a system of cameras, still cameras, that take shots every 5 minutes. Throughout the day, we've had often up to 6 cameras taking photos throughout an orchard in association with weather monitoring, close weather monitoring, so that we've been able to actually follow over the entire flowering season for 3 years how the flowering system avocado is related to temperature. And what we've found is that the best predictor of the timing of the female flower opening in avocado is the minimum temperature from the night before. And in fact, in New Zealand, we're really at the limits of avocado growth, down here with our cold, wet and changeable springs. And in New Zealand springs, when we get below 6 degrees Celsius overnight, we actually find the avocado flowers open late in the evening as females and stay open all night long. And not only that, male Hass flowers are opened almost every night throughout the season. So in actual fact, there's a significant portion of the time in New Zealand when we have both male and female Hass flowers open all night long, which really raises an interesting question about whether there are pollinators at night that pollinate these flowers. One of the other research ideas around the world about avocado flowers is that they require a period of about 3 days of warm temperatures before you'll actually get a successful pollination event. And the methods we've used have been able to demonstrate quite clearly that in actual fact, even after those cold nights when you have evening flowering of flowers, you do get fruit set. And this year we're embarking on quite an ambitious study to really relate fruit set throughout the season with the temperature. So what we do is we come into an orchard, we look at what the temperature was overnight, and then on each day we mark 1,000 flowers. We use little paint pens and we mark 100 flowers on each of 10 trees, and then we follow those flowers through to the formation of the very smallest initial fruitlet, and then we follow the survival of that fruitlet over the next few weeks and months to see how does the survival and the fruit set compare between days that were cold or warm. And so we can really start to understand over the entire flowering season of avocados in New Zealand how the changing temperature has affected the patterns of fruit set. And from this we hope to be able to give growers a much better understanding of when pollination is occurring in their orchards. That will also tell us what pollinators we need to be considering. If there is nocturnal pollination in avocado orchards here, we need to think about what are the nocturnal pollinators in these orchards. And all this just helps us to understand in much more detail what's happening with pollination in avocado and to what degree pollination is a limiting factor for fruit set in avocado orchards.